Hello guys, I am Vidishes Bakalwadi, your science teacher, Sankalp Learning Solution. In the last class, we discussed regarding the structural isomers. We discussed regarding the unsaturated hydrocarbons, saturated hydrocarbons, and the general formula of alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. Right? Today, we are going to discuss about nomenclature of carbon compounds. Nomenclature. So, nomenclature means naming. The meaning of nomenclature is naming of carbon compounds. How to name the carbon compounds that we are going to discuss today. So before that, as I discussed earlier regarding the examples like C2H5OH, C3H7OH, C4H9OH. Fine. So in all this, we can find one functional group that is OH. Here, one hydrogen is replaced by alcohol group. So such compounds where hydrogen is substituted by same functional group. Hydrogen of that compound is substituted by same functional group. Such compounds are called as homologous series. Right? Such compounds are called homologous series. So in the homologous series, the functional group remains the same, whereas the number of carbon atoms, the number of hydrogen atoms differs. As the number of carbon atoms increases, we can say that molecular mass also increases. Molecular masses also increases. When molecular masses increases, it affects on increase in boiling point and melting point of the compounds. No doubt all will be having same chemical properties, but the melting point and boiling point mainly depends upon the molecular mass. Molecular mass depends upon the number of carbon atoms. So this is regarding the homologous series, right? Next, we are going to learn, as I said, nomenclature. So we have three laws here, means three statements, we can say three rules to by naming the carbon compounds. The first one is we should know number of carbon atoms. How many number of carbon atoms are there and what we are going to name it. As example, as I discussed in earlier session, if it has one carbon, meth, two eth, three prop, four bute, five pent, like that. So you should know number of carbon atoms linked to one another. The next one is you should know the functional group. Functional group we should know, as well as we should know the functional group, as well as we should know whether the functional group name should be added as a suffix, should be added as a prefix or suffix. Prefix means what? Before the carbon name or before the word, before the actual word. Surf means with what? After the word. So there are certain functional group where we will write them as before writing the number of carbon atoms. There are certain functional groups which we will write after. For example, let us consider prop, three carbon compound. Okay, three carbon. The compound containing three carbon. And it has a functional group ketone. Okay, so here the carbon is written as prop. Three carbon means prop. Okay, and as they are linked with the this one, single bond first will be propane. As functional group is attached as ketone. Here the suffix ane will be there, na? Alkane, the suffix, the after word. Prop is number of carbon atoms. Suffix, the last word of it. So this will be replaced. This will be replaced by functional group. So here we can write propanon. ONE is a suffix for it. If it is hydrogen, propanol. Sorry, all. OL. All. If it is halogens like chlorine, bromine, so it will be chloropropane. See here. Here we wrote the functional group in first, as a first letter. But here we wrote the functional group at last. So which functional group we should write as prefixes, that is before the word? Which functional group we should write as suffixes, that is after the word? That we should be aware of. Then the last point is, we know that we have saturated carbon compounds as well as unsaturated carbon compounds. So the saturated carbon compounds will be having single bond. Such compounds suffix will end by ane. Methane, ethane, propane. So ane indicates there is single bond between the carbon atoms. Similarly, when we look about unsaturated compounds, guys, unsaturated. So here, the carbon atoms will be binded with 2 bonds or 3 bonds. When it is 2 bond, double bond, when it is double bond, then the suffix will be ene. When it is triple bond, then suffix will be yne. Methane, propane, butane, methene, ethene, propene. So ene indicates double bond. Yne, Y-N-E indicates triple bond. So these all rules we should be aware of while writing or while naming the carbon compounds. When we solve the examples, the concept will be more clear for you. So let us solve the examples. Let me take only one example and let me write it using a different functional group, right? So let us consider a compound. The compound contains 3 carbon. Contains 3 carbon atoms. Okay. Then it will be prop. 2 means E, 3 means prop. Right. Now, if it is linked by single bond, if the carbon atoms are linked by single bond, we will write it as propane. A-N-E, which indicates it has single bond between the carbon atoms. Similarly, if there is double bond between carbon atoms, then it is considered or written as propene. The suffix will be propene for double bond. If it is triple bond between the carbon atoms, then it will be propine. So the suffix will be propine, right? I. So like this, the number of bonds between the carbon atoms also decides the suffix or the name of a carbon compound. Now, if the carbon atom or the carbon chain is attached to any functional group, so let us consider the functional groups now. The first functional group, if the functional group is haloalkanes, means for the alkanes, if the halogens like chlorine, bromine are attached. So suppose if chlorine is attached to the propane, they gave haloalkane, means alkane means there will be single bond between the carbon atoms. So propane it is. We took an example of propane. So here it will be if chlorine is attached, It is chloropropane. The first letter should be capital and all letters should be small. And propane, there should be no gap between chloro and propane. Okay, fine. Next, if bromine is attached, it is bromopropane. Okay, if we can say iodine is attached, iodopropane. This is regarding haloalkanes, right? Now, if alcohol functional group is attached, alcohol functional group means if one H is displaced or replaced by OH group in a propane, so here it will be propane, right? When alcohol group is attached, so what happens here? Suffix ane will be removed. It will be replaced by propanol. Okay, so here what happens? Here propane will be there, E will be removed, and E is replaced or displaced by OL. So OL will be the suffix. When alcohol is attached to the any propane, means to the carbon atoms, then it will be OL. The suffix will be OL. Okay. Now, similarly, if aldehyde is attached to it, let us write the skeletal of this also. Let me write here so that it will be clear for you. Let me take, if haloalkane is attached, let me take it as chlorine is attached. So here propane, it is chloropropane, right? Then the structure would be CCC H H H H H H H. Instead of writing here H, that H will be displaced. Okay, it's not visible for you. See, haloalkane, it is chloroalkane. Okay, chloroalkane. It is written as C C C propane, 3 carbon atoms. Ane is their single bond. H H H H H H H. This H will be there now. So this H will be displaced by this functional group, that is chlorine. We can write Cl. This is a structural formula of chloropropane. Similarly, we saw for alcohol, right? So alcohol, when it is attached, the suffix would be OL. The halogens will be prefix. Halogens, when halogens will be attached, it will be prefix. When alcohol is attached, it will be suffix. So as it is attached to the propane, the name will be propanol. E will be replaced by OL. Then the structure, as same, 3 carbon atoms linked by a single bond. Okay. Next, H, 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 H. One hydrogen will be attached with the alcohol group. So what is the indication or representation? OH. So here OH. This is a structural formula of propanol. Okay. Next, if ketone is attached, ketone, its suffix is ONE. It is written as suffix, guys. Suffix. Okay. And it's this one is C double bond O. C double bond O. So it will be written as propane will be there. Now, propane is a common term. That's simple alkene. So here, propane will be replaced by ONE. So here, it will become propane will be there. Now, so ane, E will be displaced by propanon. E will be displaced by ONE suffix. ONE suffix. Similarly, the structural formula H, this will be same. And here, one hydrogen atom is displaced. One hydrogen atom is displaced by a ketone. By a ketone. So here we can write C double bond O. Let me write. In the middle, it will be good. Yeah. So this is the structure of propanon. Propanon. C double bond O is a functional group. Similarly, you can write for the aldehyde also. Aldehyde. If aldehyde is attached, then its suffix would be an. It is a suffix, and its functional formula is C double. Let me write like this: C double bond OH. It's a functional formula. C double bond OH. So it is a propane. C here the name would be propanal. E is displaced by Al. Okay. Then structure C C C H H H. Then double. If I write here, it will be good, na? Double bond O 1 2 3 4 5. Then H H. So C double bond OH. C double bond OH. So this is the formula of propanal when aldehyde is attached. So like this, we can write the structure, we can name the carbon compound by remembering the number of carbon atoms, the functional group, whether the functional group should be added as suffix or a prefix. As you can see here, when the haloalkanes will be there, so usually the name will start with the prefix of it. If it is another compound, like if it is another functional group like alcohol, aldehyde, ketone, so almost all functional group would be the suffixes. Okay, so here let us solve two more examples, guys. Let us solve some examples from the in questions of the text. Okay, just a minute. Fine. So here in text question, in the page number 69, here they asked, draw the fourth question. Draw the structures for the following compounds. They have given along with the functional group. The first one they have given ethanoic acid. Second one bromopentane. Third one butanol. Fourth one hexanol. So let us start with third one as we solved recently. And then we will solve with first, second and third. So the first one is butanol here. Butanol. Butanol. So but means what? We know that 4 carbon compound. ONE. First roughly you just write somewhere so that it will be easy for you to draw the structure. 4 carbon but. Okay, these are rough. Okay. Then butanol. Non. ONE is there now. So it is a ketone. And they did not mention any ene, ine or something over there. So we will take it as alkane only. Means linked by a single bond. Let us draw the structure, guys. So butanol, 4 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then as we know that it is a ketone group, the functional group is a C double bond O. So somewhere middle, we will write C double bond O. Okay. So first we will write this as H, and we should remember all the carbon atoms should be satisfied with 4 bonds, right? Next. So here also H I will write, here also H I will write. Here I will write double bond O. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, no need of H. So here I will write H, H, H. So it is up to you, wherever you can write the functional group, wherever you can place the functional group as of 10th standard, right? Then, so this is a butanol, structure of butanol, right? Fine. The next question is, they ask, first one, right? Ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid, right? Rough we will say ethanol. Eth means what? It is a 2 carbon compound. Then they did not give any E, I, okay? So it will be single bond. Oic acid they said. So it will be carboxylic acid. So it will be C double bond O, OH will be the functional group. Okay. Now, and it is single bond. If we write this in rough, it will be very easy for us to draw. So C are there. H, 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 4 bonds satisfied. C double bond O, OH. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is the simple. You can write H up also. OH up also. Right? So this is a formula or a structural formula for ethanoic acid. Right? Next, they gave bromopentane. The next question they gave as bromopentane. Bromo. Bromo means what? The functional group is bromine. That is halo. Pentane. A-N-E. It is alkane. The carbon atoms are linked by single bond. Pent. 5 carbon. See, using the name, we can draw the structure, but if we should know or we should be familiar with the functional group, what is the formula of functional group, and ane, ine, and pent, e, we should be familiar with this. If you practice only, you will get to know. Otherwise, you will get confused while solving. When I am solving, it will appear very easy for you. But when you are solving by yourself, you feel tough. So please practice maximum examples or the examples repeatedly you practice. Like pentanone, you take hexanone, you take methanone. On your own examples, you can form in this chapter, guys. Okay, so here pentanone they are given. I think it is second one in the box. Pentanone, and they have given some star on this. Means it indicates you can write any structural isomer for that. It is should not be compulsorily the long chain. Guys. So first we will draw the long chain, then we will move to the structural isomer, right? Pent. Let me take a rough. Pent means 5, right? Pentanone, oh no, no. Bromopentane, sorry. It is bromopentane. Bromopentane. So pent means 5, bromo means it is Br, okay? Then ANE, that is single bond, okay? Now, carbon, 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 5 carbon, that is 5, bromo is there now. So here, first only you write Br, bromo, then as at H, 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 H. See, as you can see, the pentane after butane, whatever comes, they it will take time for us to draw the long chain. So instead, we can use the branched chains here. So let me use a branch chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I wrote BR. H, 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 Here H, here H, here H, here H. So like this, you can draw many structures for some examples. This is a bromopentane. Next, we have hexanal. Hexanal. The next example is hexanal, guys. Fourth it is, okay, hexanal. So here hex means what? X means 6. Is Al. Al means it is aldehyde. So what is the formula? C double bond H. Then it is single bond. Fine. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexanal aldehyde. No. So somewhere double bond O and here H. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the bind H to complete the tetravalency of the carbon. Okay. So this is how we should draw the structure of the given compound, right? Next, we will be having, sometimes they will give the structure, guys, and then they will tell us to name it. So like that also we have examples in the in-text question only, we will solve it. So the first one, that is the fifth question, I guess. The first one they gave CH3CH2Br. CH3CH2Br. So it is Br, halo. Functional group is halo. Halo alkanes means it should be prefix. As it is bromine, so we can write bromo first. How many carbon atoms are there? 1, 2. 2 carbon atoms means eth. Eth. And you can see they are linked by a single bond. So ANE, bromoethane is the answer. Next one, we have a structure of C double bond OH. See here, C double bond OH. C double bond H is a aldehyde. So suffix will come as AL. Suffix will come means after the word. So what is the number of carbon? Only 1, right? So methanol. Methanol. Third one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So let me finish the tetravalency of the carbon atoms. Just I should see here. C. Okay. Last C double bond with C. Then we have H. Okay. Okay. See here, we don't have any functional group here, but we have triple bond in between. How many carbon atoms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Triple bond. So it is named as hex. 6 triple bond. Ine. Y-N-E. Hexine. So the given carbon compound is hexine. So like this, by understanding the rules of nomenclature, by memorizing or by practicing the name, the suffix and prefix of the functional groups, the formula of functional group, we can write the structure of the carbon compounds as well as we can name the carbon compounds. Okay. In the upcoming session, we are going to discuss regarding chemical properties of carbon compounds. Okay. Until that, take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.